I haven't done a pedalling speed test, so I'll try and do that now. This is the Lankeleisi X2000 Max. We've seen the X3000 Max. This is the little brother or sister. And we're opening straight away on this Lankeleisi X2000 Max with a throttle only speed test. And we're currently going at 22 miles an hour. That's in single motor mode, pedal assist 5, but this bike has got two motors. Two motors. Little kick, and we're getting up to 24, 25, about 25 miles an hour. Nice pull away from the island there. That's the great thing about a dual motorbike. So interestingly, the speed of the bike wasn't matching with the GPS. The speed of the bike is meant to be 28 miles per hour, but my GPS was below that. And when I went into the settings, because what you need to do is you need to set the right size of wheel, and the wheel was set as 24. Now this bike's got 20-inch diameter tyres, 4 inches wide, they're fat tyres. And usually bikes like that, when their tyres are on, they're actually 23 inches. So this is set to an extra inch. What that means is the bike thinks that for every rotation of the wheel, it's covering more distance, therefore going a bit faster. So it was overestimating the speed. So it looks like the speed of this bike is closer to 25 miles an hour rather than 28 miles an hour, which is interesting. Because whilst 25 miles an hour is a perfectly acceptable speed for an e-bike, many would say a bit too much, they said 28. So yeah, those two motors, they're both meant to be 1,000 watts, which gives, well, they said, a torque of 95 Newton meters. Now that's quite a lot. And here we are at the Sandy Lane hill climb. So let's see if this bike can put its money where its torque mouth is. Torquey mouth. The current setting in the computer is actually set at 22 amp hours. So I'm actually going to just see if I can increase that, because the controller is meant to be a 36 amp hour controller. Now, 36 amp hours times the voltage of the battery, 48, is actually about 1,700-ish watts. Meant to be 2,000, but because the motors are rated for 1,000 watts each, I'll say a 2,000 watt bike, but sometimes you're not getting all that power. Big example of that is when I did the Bezior, which was meant to be a 1,500 watt bike, but actually only about 624 watts was being produced. Now 1,700 is still quite a lot, but that was down to 22 amps. Now it might not make a difference, so I'm going to test it out. I'll go up this hill and then we'll go and do another top speed test and see if it's changed at all. It's a nice screen. It's a colour screen I've used many times before. It does reflect, but you can still see everything. Up and down for pedal assist. Hold down the plus to change from dual motor mode to front only, rear only. So let's go dual. So Sandy Lane, 3, 2, 1, go. Right, okay, this is feeling quite good, as it should, because it's dual motor. Obviously 95 Newton meters torque is really good. However, you take something like the Ridstar, which is now the new king of the hill, reviewed a couple of videos ago. That did it extremely fast, and each motor was 90 Newton meters apparently. Now you never know what you can trust, and this is going up really well, but I don't think as fast as that, but it does feel really good. And across the line. So the X2000 Max takes its place on the leaderboard just below its big brother with a very respectable time of 46 seconds. Interestingly, despite being a few £100 cheaper than the 3000, it has equal specs including weight, battery and motors. So the only reason I can think of why this bike might be a little slower is that maybe I'm a bit heavier. Right, so we'll carry on, see what kind of speed we can get on this fairly flat surface. Now the accelerator in this one takes you past pedal assist. Right, so we are going a bit faster now. We've got 27. Maybe that's it then. Maybe you just go into your settings and just make sure it's putting out the right amps. I got up to 28 then. So basically, the bike can do 28 miles an hour, but you need to make sure it's putting out the right number of amps in the computer. So it could be that they lowered that, but then increased the speed by making the wheel diameter too big, just to make you think you're going that fast when you're not really, which actually might seem a bit underhand, but it's not, because all cars actually overestimate their speed. So when you're in your car and you think you're going 60, you probably think you're probably actually going about 56. When you think you're pushing the speed limit, you're not quite actually doing it. Also, they might have done it to help you increase the range, because I would say on an e-bike, being able to go 28 instead of 25 is not as important as is having a big range.
Now, we might have sorted the speed, but whilst we're being a bit negative, let's get all the other negatives out of the way, because there are a few, so I don't want them to get lost after all the positives. Now, I don't know if Lankeleisi are going all 2020 on us, but there is no cover for the charge port. Not the best idea if the bike's going to be in the rain. My first e-bike had this issue, and I used to cover it up with tape. Lankeleisi, please do let us know if that was just mine, or if no X2000 Maxes actually have charge port covers. Also, the way the key works with this bike is unlike any other folding e-bike in this style.
The key that goes in the bottom, I don't mind the positioning, I've got used to it now, but you don't need the key at all to run the bike, which is annoying when the battery is quite hard to remove. So when you do lock the bike up, if you take the key out, people still have power. So you could have your bike stolen, and then the thieves could still use the power of the bike to get away, even if you don't have the key in. So yeah, the only way you can stop that is by removing the battery. And to remove the battery, you need to fold the bike. Yes, it is a folding e-bike, mainly because the battery's inside there and it's just somewhere to put it. But let's see how it goes down. So, pull the lever, open it up, put the stand down. Let's see how stiff this is. Oh no, it's not. I'm inside it now. Land it on the metal thing and the handlebars. That comes down really easy, like a little too easy for my liking. And it's kept in there by that little piece of plastic. So if that ever slides around, and there it is. You can imagine it fitting nicely in the corner of your shed, but not on a train. Right, let's get the battery out then. So now it is folded. Turn the key, you've got to take the key out, then the battery will come out, the 20 amp hour big beastly battery. It's a very nice bike. It is the little brother or sister of the X3000, which I love. I absolutely love that bike. And what this is, it's basically the same kind of thing, but in a more foldable shell. So unlike the X3000, which has got the BMX style hamburgers. What the hell? I'm guessing I'm hungry. So unlike the X3000 Max, which has got the BMX style handlebars, this has got your more traditional folding handlebars. So when you're folding it down, it actually folds properly. It is 1,600, which I think is a little bit cheaper than the X3000 Max. Hopefully we'll have discount code below, so check the pinned comment and the description. Hopefully we can save a bit more money. Right, going over some bumpy bits, and this has got front suspension and adjustable at the front, so you can completely lock it out. It's got the preload thing that they often have that doesn't really do that much. I've got about halfway suspension now, which is about right for these roads. But it's a very comfortable ride. Of course, with the massive thick tyres, that always makes it a bit more comfortable as well. And on a bike like this, when you've got that extra power, it's okay to have those fat tyres. However, how about if I had to ride without power? Let's just go down to 0. So Let's let the inertia pass. I'm in 7th gear, we've got 7 gears, Shimano system. The back derailleur is an Altus one, a bit better than Tawny. Right, 9 miles an hour. It's not the best. Like, if I was on a road bike now, if I was on the hay bike, brilliant road e-bike, if I was on that I'd be going a lot faster than I would on this, but this bike isn't really about that, is it? If I was to get stuck with no battery, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it wouldn't be an enjoyable time. Let's get some power back. So that battery though, luckily, 20 amp hour battery, 48 volts, giving us a watt hour capacity of 960, which is a very decent capacity. Obviously that's going to power 2 motors. Now the range they give, 70 to 130 kilometers, about 40 to 80 miles, which is a decent range. They tested that with a 60 kilogram rider though, so I'm 100. So that's nearly half my weight. So I'm going to bring the range down. 25 degree day as well. It's not a 25 degree day today, of course. Batteries last longer when they're warmer. They are Samsung cells, which is nice. And obviously, when that battery is powering 2 motors, that's also going to kill the range. I'm currently running dual, just because it's more fun. But day to day, I'd imagine you just run on 1 motor. And then maybe switch it to dual when you're on a hill, or when you're at a roundabout and you need to pull away like I was. Right, here I am, Alex of the future. I've done 12 miles and we've just dropped a bar. So considering my weight and the performance so far of that Samsung cell, I would say that their range estimates are pretty accurate. As well as the ride comfort on the arse, the ride comfort on the hands is nice with these winged hand grips. Brake testing time, because with all that power you could do with having some good brakes. This has got hydraulic brakes attached to 180mm discs, so decent sized discs. I'll do it at this tree. 20 miles an hour. Wow, wow, that was pretty impressive. So the question is, why are those tyres better than other tyres? But you can see that's like 1.5 meters or something. Oh, that's just, it's the good thing about having dual motors, just being able to overtake things really quickly, get out of trouble. Another example where faster can be safer. But watch your speed. I haven't done a pedalling speed test, so I'll try and do that now. How about 31? Woo. Maximum speed 31 confirmed.
Whilst I catch my breath, let's take a look at some of the other parts of the bike and what it was like when it first arrived. It does have front and rear integrated lights, and the rear light is also a brake light. Unlike the X3000 Max, the front light is less a motorcycle light and more of a standard e-bike light. We'll talk about why that might be a good thing shortly. It's not the brightest, but it is perfectly adequate. Unlike many folding bikes, the pedals do not fold, which is a shame as they can get in the way when they stick out. However, they are nice and sturdy and feel good when pedaling. The bike comes with a nice horn and also front and rear mudguards, which are made of a black plastic. As you saw, the battery can be removed, which means you can charge it up away from the bike. In the accessory box we have a manual, pedals, pump, lock, 3-amp charger and tools. Just a quick one, I've noticed that Lankeleisi, Crazybird and Cyrusher always give the cool ball end Allen keys, which are fantastic. The box the bike came in was pretty big and the bike was very well packed with lots of extra padding that I don't usually see. The build was extremely straightforward, just don't forget to attach the front motor.
Right, I've come to my favourite autumn street just to see if I can do a bit of a wheel spin. No, I fixed it. See, it still doesn't wheel spin much, but it's not really a good thing, wheel spin. It's just fun, and it's kind of a shame it doesn't do it, but when you look at the brake test and how amazing that was, and that was probably a better brake test than the X3000, definitely a better brake test than the Ridstar. So yeah, maybe we don't want wheel spin. But yeah, you know what, now I've sorted out all the kind of speed and current issues, I really do like this bike. Lankeleisi have made another good bike. Always like a dual motor e-bike, something with a bit more oomph. And I suppose, even though compared to the Ridstar, the Lankeleisi X3000 does look more like a normal bike, it still has elements such as the handlebars and the big front light that still make it stand out a bit more than your average e-bike. Whereas this bike does definitely look more like your average foldable fat tire e-bike that often are legal. So I think that's probably what they're going for. It's much more refined than something like the Ridstar. It looks a lot more stealth than the X3000, but it still looks really nice. I love the white colour. It's funny how they called it a snow moped, but that makes sense because fat tire e-bikes are really good in the snow. And if it's got all-wheel drive as well, it's going to make it even better. Although you are going to be going faster, so you might actually feel that it's not better. But if you go at a normal slow speed, if you go dual motor but keep it in setting 1 and pedal assist, you'll probably feel quite secure. Something I also noticed about this bike is that it's probably more suitable for taller riders than any of my other bikes. It's not that low actually. I reckon if I was below 5'5", I might struggle a bit to get that, maybe 5'4". Max is quite high. Oh wow, this could be the highest one ever. I don't think I could actually get on there. Let's go 6'7", which is great because it's got a massive weight capacity as well, but you'd expect that for a 37 kilogram bike. It is a heavy bike. And it felt heavy too when I was lifting it up. So yeah, loads of good things about this bike. I'm really impressed. Well done, Lankeleisi. So if you are in the market for a dual motor beast, but want something a bit more sophisticated than others, or a bit more stealthy than others, then the Lankeleisi X2000 Max is definitely a good bet. And I definitely recommend it. If you do want to check it out on their website, do please use the link in the description. It's an affiliate link, which means if you do use that, it helps the channel. It lets Lankeleisi know that I'm a decent reviewer to send bikes to, and it means I might send more bikes in the future. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that video or it helps, do leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumb it down. And until next time, ride safe.